burn the place down. Like, I don't think anybody should.
I don't think anyone should go back there.
Yeah.
Destroy those notes so that no one can get those notes and do something with them. Do this all over again.
Yeah, we barely made it out of there, and we had like a few other people.
Yeah.
Well, he intends to use the squatters.
Squatters.
Make proto-shoggoths out of all of them. I don't know if it's a bid to take over the world or merely to spread their religion.
Well, it sounds terrible to me. Either way, I don't, So I'm thinking we should probably sneak in there after we've gotten this chemical put back together.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. I'm gone. We'll make the chemical, we'll go in there and defeat him once we have the rest of our crew. Hopefully we can find them and contact them so we don't have to do this on our own. I don't know how to hold a gun.
Yeah.
You still have the sawed-off shotgun, right?
Do
I don't think you dropped it.
Maybe I
You used it to smash a lot of stuff, and then you ran out of the place. But you never really said you dropped it or anything like that. So I'm assuming that you kind of held on to it.
I've got
All the rest of the guns, the pistols, were kept by Captain Scott or Washington, I'm going to assume, because they picked up like Porter's pistol and they picked up the 245 caliber pistols that she was carrying as well.
Yeah, I still have a rifle.
You have a rifle. That's right. It's still in the car.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, your Winchester's in the car. You've got a sawed-off shotgun without any ammunition.
Bummer.
Wake up, Caitlin. You want some caffeine? Here's some
I'm
pop.
gonna get some caffeine soon.
Okay.
I brought my own.
Oh, okay. Oh, mine's not good. You can put it in the fridge too.
I have
I'm
Mountain
just.
Dew Code Red. It's
Oh,
the most best kind of caffeine, and I'm trying to not have as much soda.
oh, I understand. You can put it in the fridge if you want.
It's cold.
Okay.
It's cold outside.
And in this apartment, apparently.
Yeah.
I think it's
I don't know if I
comfortable.
can turn this up.
I think it's up as far as it'll go.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I
My
remember
legs
this
are
thing used to
cold.
put off more heat.
I want to do jumping jacks. Like,
Yeah, if you want. We'll watch. Anyway.
okay,
So
these people. So I go home to go to sleep. Now
Okay.
we have a plan. We hope we can find the other people.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice, but they disappeared without a word.
They're just gone. They didn't.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
know where either one of them really lives.
you definitely don't know where Washington is, and you're not sure where Porter's apartment is because she's never actually showed it to you. You do have Pendergast.
Oh yeah.
He's upstairs if you want to deal with him at all. Does your character know anybody else in town?
No, I met all these people through Pendergrass, so I'd
That's
probably
what I thought.
go through Pendergrass.
We go talk to Pendergast and we're like, hey, maybe he knows something about this kid, and we can be like, hey, do you like history? See if that like spurs anything, and then maybe we can get through to him that we know.
You're a history bunk.
You heard of smart little boys who are not really little boys, and if he like makes weird twitchy eyes, then we know it's him. He's behind it all.
Pendergast? Could be, I guess.
Wait, we still don't really know why Pendergast sent us to this place, other than he just thought there was weird stuff going on.
No, actually, what happened, and, well, did they ever tell you guys?
Not really.
Okay, then you can assume that.
Okay.
Because they did a lot of talking and stuff, but I guess they really didn't explain what was really going on to you guys, so,
They
yeah.
didn't say why they were working with Pendergast, or who he was, or why he was so interested in this asylum,
They
other than
mentioned-
just weird stuff was going on. They were like, wow, this is some weird stuff.
They mentioned like one of their buddies. I think it was Manfred.
Yeah, Manfred
Yeah.
Donald, you remember him.
Yeah, had been
You knew him at one
institution
point.
there, and they wanted to get him out.
Yeah, but why? But he was fake institutions there. But why was he fake institution there in the first place?
But no. Manfred Donald wasn't.
Oh.
Manfred was put into the asylum. That you would have gleaned that. Captain Scott's the one who went in fake to check the place out. I know it's a lot of names coming at you at once. You could also always go and talk to Pendergast.
Yeah,
That's always an
I
option.
think that's what I want to do next.
Okay. Are
Ask
you-
him if he knows anything
Are you
about
just gonna go to bed, or
this
do you,
story.
are you going back home, or do you want to go with him to talk to Pendergast?
I think I'll go with to see Pendergast.
Okay.
To see like to know anything about
Okay.
history.
Do you have any books in your apartment?
Books?
Yeah, books or anything to read.
I just my guy's just like a traveling like.
Okay,
person,
so you guys get up and leave the apartment. You see Jeffrey Corn gets up and he goes and turns the radio on,
Okay.
and he starts fiddling with the dial.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be back in like maybe
He's probably doing history stuff.
an hour. Oh yeah.
I'm to learn what I can. Is what he says as you close the door.
I'm
Okay.
kind of a history person.
Yeah, I don't really have historic material.
Okay. You go up to the second floor, tap Pendergast's door. He opens it up. Yeah, he looks a little tired, as he has every time you've seen him. There's a table on the table behind him, which was cleaned off for like the dinner party that you guys had. There's ledgers and there's like books. It looks like accounting books and a lot of stuff like that. And
Hello, Pendergast.
Pendergast doesn't really smoke, so he doesn't have a cigarette in his hand. It's like, oh, yes, come on. He lets you in, closes the door behind you, and offers you each a drink. Anything to drink?
What time is it?
It's like dinner, a little after dinner time. It's like 6 o'clock at night.
Or after go.
Okay, so he'll pour you whatever you usually have.
I'm okay for right now. I've seen enough.
Seen enough. Yes. Oh, I read it in the paper.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
Is Manfred okay? I made a telephone call today. I was supposed to take him out of there yesterday, and then all this happened last night. And so, I called the asylum, and I told them, and I had a man sent around to remove him from the asylum. And I had him use the excuse that obviously the place is not safe. And they tried to tell me that it was, this was a gang came in for Washington, and he's gone now, so it shouldn't be a problem. But Manfred's out then, so you can tell Miss Porter if you see her or Officer
okay.
Bridges that I removed him from the asylum.
That's good.
Miss Porter died. Isn't that right?
What? Miss Porter? Yeah. Oh wait, you didn't say that. Yes, Miss Porter died and Officer
I
Bridges
said
died.
Miss
said-
Porter's dead.
What?
Yeah, the doctor guy became a huge monster and ate her, or something. Kind of ate her.
He looks totally surprised and shocked at this. Like
I don't think
What?
he knows about the history of monsters.
Yeah.
the what?
Uh,
So that was you last night? You were the gang that attacked and killed people, and
We didn't kill anyone. They killed people. The monster
Yeah,
they
guy.
said there was a couple of dead men in the basement or something.
Yeah, they killed us. They killed the people. The doctor became a monster with eyes and pinchy things,
Ugh.
and
That sounds awful.
It was very awful.
Dr. Fragan, the Dutchman.
Yeah, the doctor guy who was weird.
I'm glad you got Manfred on it.
He's a monster.
yeah, it's,
He's a,
I can vouch for this.
well, I believe you after things I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we found some kid who's not really a kid. He's a history species, and goes back in time to get history. So he's just in the kid's body.
He pours himself another drink.
Yeah, he's in my apartment listening to the radio right now.
Wait. But Miss Porter is dead, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
unfortunately.
shame. How?
The monster went and then went and then she was dead.
It digested her?
No, it just moved around her and squeezed her and then dropped her and she was dead.
That sounds awful. It sounds terrible. Wait, did you see this? Oh, my dear. He gives you a little pat on the back. Did you see it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry, Well, wait, but Manfred's out now.
That's good.
They say it was, this kid, you said you said there was a history.
You know how
person?
it says young boys whereabouts unknown?
Yes, that Chalmers, whatever his name is, Quincy.
Yeah.
What the hell was his name? That's him. That's Pendergast. He just doesn't remember. Jeffrey, yes, that's it. Jeffrey something.
Yeah, so he's not really a little kid. He says he's a perfectly normal human boy, but he's not.
What is he?
He says he's a species who goes back in time and does history stuff. He's a historian.
This is a bit much for me.
It was a bit much for us too, so that's why we needed to come here and
Tell you.
share a drink with you. So we all
And
digest this.
Dr. Fragan wanted information from this history guy,
Yes.
so he tortured this little kid.
Oh.
Not really a little kid.
Right.
And he wants to turn everyone into monsters.
Well, that's not good.
No,
What do you plan to do about it?
I sort of want to burn the whole place down.
That seems extreme.
Well, these are extreme circumstances.
We got a list of stuff to make a special chemical solution that'll dissolve Dr. Fragan.
Ooh. Okay.
And then
All
he'll be
right.
dead.
All right. So, do you think that's the best course of action?
I really don't see much of an
It's okay.
alternative. Otherwise, he's gonna turn into monsters and dissolve us. So
Well, I'd really rather that didn't happen.
I feel like we need to beat him to the punch, the dissolving punch.
All right. Well, what can I do to help?
Well,
Can you
I
help us get this stuff? Can you give us money to get this stuff so we can dissolve this face?
Well, where's the list? Have you got it like in your pocket? Yeah. He'll look at it. It's not gonna cost much. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah. Hold on. He gets the phone. He makes a telephone call, and says, yes. Reynolds. Yes. I need you to come around, pop around right now in my apartment. Yes, right now. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Reynolds is my man. He'll get everything on the list. How much do you need of all this? It's like 30 or 40 like different chemical stuff, and then a bunch of different lab equipment.
I want to know.
Maybe
for,
$50 worth of stuff if you got a lot of it.
Yeah, for a few mason jars, side like a few like.
Okay.
A good amount. Total amount.
Drums? Should I get drums more? Okay.
A couple drums.
Yeah. About 20 minutes later, a gentleman shows up. He's wearing a nice suit, well pressed. I haven't rolled this guy up, so he's just a pure NPC. And Pendergast relays that he wants him to get these chemicals in copious amounts. Where do you want them to live? Where?
That's a good question. I think we should just.
We should give it to the history guy so we can apartment.
Yeah, we can all.
Okay, so ready to go solve.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring it all to Mr. Blankenship's apartment. He tells him all this, and the gentleman's like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Pendergast," and then he leaves with barely a word to either one of you. Gives each of you a nod, and then he's gone. So he's obviously somebody that works for Pendergast.
Thanks.
Let's hope he's not a monster.
Yeah, we're gonna be second guessing
Reynolds?
everybody.
No.
Anybody can be a monster.
No, I don't think so. I don't think.
Well, I don't trust anyone now after what I saw.
Yeah.
Wait, who was the guy who was killed in the basement in the cave?
Bridges, Officer Bridges.
Bridges. Okay,
Anthony Bridges.
does Pendergast know Bridges?
He was at the little get-together that you had when you first met both Natalie Porter and Mr. Bridges. So
Right.
he was there, and he and Pendergast shared a drink. And they were pretty chummy from the way you could...
No,
From what you could tell.
and Pendergast, you know Bridges?
Yes, Officer Bridges.
He's dead too.
What?
Yeah.
But he's a police officer.
I saw him get blown away by a shotgun. So he's dead. I ran.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we lost 2 good people to that. And we want to put this all to a stop.
Yes, I can understand why. How do you intend to approach even using this chemical substance? How do you... What is there a plan?
We're gonna throw it at his face.
Well, no, I mean, but how are you going to get close
Knock,
enough?
knock, hello, throw it at his face.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you don't want any witnesses.
Yeah.
Even if, I mean,
They might have.
he claimed it was a gang of men that attacked last night. He didn't make mention of a woman.
Okay, we'll put on a disguise so he won't recognize me because he saw me.
He did see you. He saw you too.
And we can go and go up to the, we can make an appointment, and he'd be like, oh, who are you? And I'd be like, it's your end, and I throw it at his face.
It sounds like pretty good. I wouldn't want to get anywhere near this man. But yes, if you feel that's prudent, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps we can like put this poison into like balloons, like it's like balloon tag everybody who tries to like get in their way. Yeah.
Pendergast is not gonna. You guys are the PC, so you have a lead as far as what you actually do.
But
Pendergast will follow your lead.
Well, if you're holding the balloon and it breaks in your hands, now your hands are dissolved.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
dead now.
That does not sound very. I don't like that plan at all.
Maybe glass bottles. We can like fill them up, or we can talk to Jeffrey about how to contain this poison. But
Okay.
we do need to find some means of like getting them at a distance. Like either we could maybe like dose bullets with this poison, and
You have plenty of bullets for the Winchester.
Yeah.
Your sawed-off shotgun, which I'm just assuming is like tucked, is probably in your bed in your apartment or in a closet or something. Yeah, you don't have any shells for that.
or we can even coat my axe. Hard to leave with this
Yeah.
poison. I could just chop through everything. Oh, that would be impressive.
What is the plan for like just up and coming time wise?
Well, after all the components get together, we're gonna sit and talk with Jeffrey as he
Okay.
makes his chemical.
Reynolds actually has all this, most of the stuff in your apartment later that evening, by like 9 o'clock. And Jeffrey's checking over the stuff. There's stuff that has to be started before other things can be added. It looks amazingly complicated what he's doing. He's basically taking your kitchen table or your little dining area table, and it's covered in laboratory equipment, and he just gets to work on it. According to him, the best use of the cellular solvent is just to like pour over or splash it on somebody. He doesn't know any like way to do that easily unless you just got a cup of it in your hand or something and just like you were talking about, just hello, it's your end, boosh, you know. That's the only way that he knows. He does mention to you that he doesn't know a lot about a lot of things, though. I mean, he understands your land.
Are
He
you
understands-
supposed to be a historian?
That's why I was here to study.
But you should know things.
Have you ever studied our race before, or our species?
Yes,
Now, what times?
various ones.
Like when?
In our past, or in our?
I feel I'm saying too much
Oh,
already.
we're just curious. There's if there's any like strategic advantage to knowing this information.
There was a group that I studied. They rode horses, and I believe I don't know in your language what they were called. They raided a lot.
Are they in the Asia area?
Were
The
they-
horse is very small.
They were very small horses. They had.
Mongolians. I'm using the word curator. I know that.
Yeah, you can have that. You can have that. They had a unique form of armor that could stop arrows.
Yep, they were pretty cool. I think we have some of the armor. We're looking at it in our museum. Well, we have it on display.
Ah, and you're a historian. I might want to speak to you at some juncture. He's working away at the stuff as he's talking with you guys. It's like he can multitask without even thinking about it.
Nice.
He says it'll take several hours to prepare this. Meanwhile, on the radio, you're hearing more about the manhunt, that it's spread to Providence, that they're specifically in search of Quincy, Washington, blah, 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 blah. But no sign of the man has yet been seen. Anyone with information, please contact police, blah, 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 blah.
I want to ask the boy,
Mhm.
boy historian, if I can carry this poison in a flask, like something like.
Yeah, he says glass, metal, anything non-organic will not be harmed by it.
So don't pour it into a pig bladder. I think that's
Or wallet.
No, he doesn't think that will work.
Right. Cool. I do
Um,
have a couple flasks around.
He notes that he also tells you that most of the staff he believes are also worshippers of Owasso at the asylum.
Would they also be the what kind of
Proto-Shoggoths?
Proto-Shoggoths?
He does not believe that Dr. Fragan has made any other humans into Proto-Shoggoths that were able to maintain their capabilities. He knows that the Doctor has been working on certain ones that will be simplistic and mindless. They can be very dangerous if they're let loose.
Well,
Well, that explains why that secretary lady jumped up and started shooting at us. It was not very nice.
I seem to remember that very clearly.
I think you were getting Captain Scott loose when she threw a dagger, a stiletto at you guys. Threw a stiletto at Miss Porter and Porter shot her, and then she ran away. Okay, so by say he can have this done by morning. Certain things have, and Reynolds shows up again around 10 o'clock with the rest of the stuff. He seems kind of surprised when the kid actually walks over and grabs it from him and walks it back over. So he's going back to work on it. But he doesn't say anything, and he's like, if you have anything else that you need, please contact Mr. Pendergast. He has my number, or he knows how to contact me.
Cool. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
You're welcome.
Great help.
He looks at the kid again, and then he walks, and then you close the door. He walks away.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go downstairs and rest up so that I'm ready and rested to throw poison at someone's face. And then we'll go tomorrow.
That's good to me.
Dun dun dun. Okay. Yeah, he'll have enough ready the next day for about 6 doses of this stuff. He can make more. He's got the chemicals to make more, but he did not have the equipment to make more right away. But if you give him another 6 to 9 hours, he can have another half dozen made. Your apartment stinks. It's got this weird chemical smell just filling the living room.
Delicious.
Yeah,
Are you going to work the next day?
No.
Okay, so
I'm
you
gonna
call in.
call in sick.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, they're fine with that.
I'm sick.
Wednesdays aren't very busy anyway, honey. That's one of the ladies that works there. So you just take care of yourself. That's a terrible voice. Sounds like a really creepy gay guy. You just take care of yourself. Honey. Okay, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, goodbye.
Hang on.
So what are you doing that day?
That day I'm gonna go to his apartment and be
Okay.
like, hey, is the stuff ready? Are we ready to go attack?
Wait until like nightfall. Where's we're going? Alright.
Right now there's 6 bottles.
Oh right.
Like mason jars. There's like 6 mason jars full of this stuff.
Cool. So the plan is like we're gonna disguise ourselves.
Well, yeah, so he doesn't know who we are right away, so we can attack him, and he'd be so surprised, like, oh wait, it's you, the people I tried to kill. How did I not see this earlier? And then his face is dissolved, and we win. He's dead. He's gone. I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with this.
Don't forget about his associates. That's Warren
They can
or
say,
Warren.
"Oops, who knew?"
No.
Oh,
We have,
They're worshippers of Owasso.
all right.
we have to spring them all at once. We can't just like dose one and then like walk down the hall and dose another. I think as soon as we start, we gotta like just.
Do they
go.
have like fire alarm ring things?
Fire alarms aren't really like a thing at this junction. You have to actually telephone the fire department.
So they don't have the automated like. Psh.
No automated sprinklers.
That's a dangerous
I know at
plan.
least 2 of the orderlies are worshippers because they used to come in and torment me. And I believe that there's at least 1 woman, maybe 2, who works there who also are worshippers of Owasso.
Is there an easy way of telling if they're a worshiper?
No, some of them seem quite kind at first, and then can suddenly turn. Perhaps if you were a psychiatrist or a psychologist, you could tell just from talking to them for a few moments. But
Well,
unless,
maybe
well,
I
you're
can,
not a chemist. That's what you said. He was asking about chemists.
maybe
So
I
he has
can
no
look
idea.
in the library. I'm a museum curator, so maybe I can look in the library, see what records we get. We have records on like the followers of Urasa. Then maybe I can get some information and then like quietly ask them questions about things like, oh yeah, it's great to meet you. I was reading an interesting thing about Urasa, and if they're like, hey, I know who that is, and I'll just pour poison on them. And, and
That could
go on my
that could
way.
work, I suppose. If you could identify them, yes, that would be the thing to do.
Nice. Okay. So we're going to.
Would it be safe to assume that everybody who works there would be a worshiper?
He doesn't either. He's seen 2 orderlies who tormented him. One short woman who came in often, who peeked in on him and didn't seem to be benign. And from what his understanding is there was another woman that worked there. He doesn't know about anybody else in the building.
They didn't mention those 2 characters that got shot and killed on the news broadcast, did they?
No.
So like, why wouldn't they just add that to the manhunt story and say that they killed these 2 people? Or did they? In the
According to the story, those were 2 of the intruders.
Oh, okay.
And according to the newspaper story and what you've been able to piece together from radio news, what they're guessing is that there was some kind of a gunfight down in the basement lab,
Oh, right.
and two of the that they were fighting amongst themselves. That's
Okay.
the best that the police could put together.
And
It's probably because they died of gunshot wounds.
yeah, I'm wondering if that's like perhaps like a clue that they would be worshippers, since they were given sort of false stories about their about how they were involved in the gang was like a mislead, away from them being cohorts of this
Could be.
person. So it could be that they were also like worshippers of this god, this elder god. So I think it'd be safe to assume everybody we meet in the asylum would be a worshiper.
But what if someone's innocent and we pour poison on them? That'd be upsetting.
From what Porter told you too, and what Captain Scott had relayed, most of them live in the building, except for one of the. There's another doctor who apparently lives off campus, whatever you want to call it,
Can we figure
and a
out
couple of
who
orderlies that are only there during the day.
Can we figure out who those orderlies and who the doctor is?
It would be tough to do so from the outside.
Yeah.
Because any of the records that they would have of their employees would not be public record. And they wouldn't have to release them. You could do some research and see if there's any mention in old newspaper articles or the like. You could do research and see if there's any mention of other doctors in the country. Or if somebody has done a feature on the asylum at some point the last, however long it's been there, 1909, so the last 15 years.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Because you can go either to the newspaper office, to the Providence Journal, or you could go to the library. They probably have some back issues. Which would you rather inquire to?
I think first I'm gonna go to the newspapers,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go to the library because I feel like it'd be more in the newspapers.
Okay. Yeah, they'll allow you to look in the newspaper more. It'll take you about 4 hours. Give me a library use roll.
And what's highest?
It's highest. Did
12
you make it out of
out of 25.
25?
Or
Wow, okay.
75.
Yeah, definitely made it. Is there a check next to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there is an article about the asylum. It takes you a while to find it. The basic gist of it is that there is another doctor who works there but doesn't live there. His name is Dr. Alan Strong, and he lives in Greenwood, which is the town that's around the asylum. There is a listing of that there is only a small staff, which consists of 4 orderlies, a maid/cook, and the receptionist, in addition to Dr. Fragan and Dr. Strong. And a handyman. Apparently, all of them live in the building except for 2 of the orderlies who only work during the day.
Okay.
And Dr. Strong does not live in the building.
We should go talk to Dr. Strong. Maybe he's not in on it and he can help us. And maybe he knows something.
I don't know. I would suspect that he would, since they are working so closely together, it'd sort of be impossible to hide. That I would suspect that he would be in on it.
Okay.
Is he not working there now? Or?
He's working now.
You actually don't know that for sure.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah, the article is 2 years old.
Well, this article is 2 years old, but he didn't live in the asylum like most of the other people, so maybe he just wasn't as close with them and he didn't get in on the whole deal.
I can see that, but we should definitely carry our poison on this just in case.
Yeah, just in case. 'Cause if he becomes a monster, we can just
Dissolve him.
throw it at him.
And as for the containers, I have at least 2 flasks for like alcohol flasks.
Yeah, you could you could pour some stuff into those if you want to, as well from the mason jars.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
And they're the little mason jars. They're not those giganto ones. They're just like
Yeah, like beads.
okay. So you're filling the flasks up with the stuff. Okay, you fill both the flasks up. Jeffrey warned you be careful. It will dissolve you. So you probably do it with the kitchen sink or something.
Is there anything to halt the dissolution
Washing it off as quickly as possible.
with water? Or is
Yeah, it breaks up in water, he tells you.
Okay.
So if it goes down the sink, it's not going to turn into this like virulent poison. It's going to ruin the ecosystem of the area. It can be dissolved by water. If he says if you get it dumped on you, jump in a river or get into a bathtub or a shower as quickly as you can.
Cool.
It'll be too late probably.
Yeah, I just wanted to know just in case, worst case scenario.
Another thing that you guys might have forgotten too is that Dr. Fragan does have personal rooms in the asylum on the ground floor, where none of the others have been able to get in yet or have looked in yet. There's the map of the asylum that you guys had.
That's probably where all those notes would be.
Down here's where Fragan's private area is, so just FYI on that.
The notes, what's his name? The boy mentioned would probably be there.
So we should check that out before we start the fire, I guess.
Right now it's a little afternoon. She's brought you the information from the newspaper office, and what did you guys want to do? And when? You talked about visiting Dr. Strong.
We could see if he's part of the asylum. Say we're there for a poll and be like, can we get your opinion on something? First of all, where do you work? And if he says the asylum, then we know he's working at the asylum. If he says somewhere else, then we can be like, oh, have you ever heard of this God thing? And if he's like, yeah, we'd be like, aha. And if he's like, no, then I don't know. Maybe we could do something like that.
I don't know if we should string the God thing so quickly, but ask if there's anything, in the underbelly of this asylum.
Oh, if we're doing it for like a poll, I don't know.
Oh, like popular opinion. Who is this God thing? Like ask this doctor if he's heard of it.
Yeah.
I think okay.
But taking a poll of the city to see like who knows what gods, and we
Their
can put down
religious-
other ones
Like
on
their
there.
religious interests.
Yeah, we can put down other ones on there like Buddha.
Yeah, that might be interesting. Buddha. Have you ever heard of this character? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Shogogoth or whatever this name is.
Shoggoths aren't gods.
They aren't gods, they're creepy, scary monsters.
Okay.
Yes, if you ever encounter one, run.
Shoggoth? Wait, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Shoggoth. SHOGGOTH.
Okay.
It says they're almost normal Shoggoth are almost impossible to kill.
You said they kept them for food?
Slaves and food. They created them. They made them. and then they used them for both slaves and food. There were rebellions of the Shabbos, I understand, but they were put down by the elder things.
Dang.
They were
Older things are probably pretty powerful.
very much so. Their empire lasted for millions of years.
All right.
Well, let's go meet that doctor, Dr. Strong.
They're assuming new identities.
Yes. I am now
Okay.
Ruby Hagger.
They'll
They'll never know.
And I am now Ned Blankenship.
Are you guys going to disguise your physical features in any way? Her dresses will not fit you, Logan.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there.
And
Dang.
Oh, I should.